Have you ever experienced the feeling of being trapped in a routine devoid of meaning, watching as the days intertwine with each other, while a deep internal emptiness and discouragement envelop you? On our journey towards higher consciousness and spiritual awakening, we may go through difficult stages where we can feel alone, misunderstood, or disoriented. But we must keep in mind that it will also be filled with transformative and enriching experiences, which will make us see life with renewed eyes. As we progress along this path, it will increasingly become brighter, showing us that every step of our journey has been worthwhile. In fact, there is no greater journey that a person can undertake. There are certain stages within the journey of spiritual awakening, each with its own set of experiences, challenges, and rewards. Understanding these stages can help you navigate your own spiritual path better and provide valuable life lessons in the process. Let's explore 5 stages that many people may experience along their spiritual awakening journey. We'll delve into some aspects of each stage, helping you identify which stage you might be in and better understand the experiences you may be going through. First stage, the chaos. For many, the first stage in their awakening occurs through chaos. Life throws some unexpected event that shakes your whole world. It could be the collapse of a romantic relationship, facing an illness, or the loss of a loved one, to name a few cases. These events cause a shake-up in our lives. In this chaos, you experience an internal snap, realizing that your ego never had control. You may also begin to question the purpose of your existence. You realize that things that used to motivate you no longer do. Activities that used to passion you suddenly lose your interest, as do some people you used to relate to. On the other hand, some people experience what can only be described as a spontaneous awakening, or full of grace. Without tragedy, without agony, just a beautiful and natural realization. It is not always necessary to suffer or go through stages of tribulation to grow spiritually. Regardless of how your awakening begins, one thing remains constant. You start asking big existential questions. Is this all there is to life? What is my true purpose? These questions lead you away from a superficial existence and invite you to explore a deeper meaning of life. Whether your awakening process begins with a dramatic event or unfolds spontaneously, you must recognize it as a call to a life more aligned with your true self, fuller of purpose. This is a call to free yourself from the illusions that have kept you asleep, to awaken from your slumber, and to manifest as the greatness you have always been destined to be. Second stage, the dark night of the soul. Your next phase could be the dark night of the soul. During this period, you are likely to find yourself facing an internal emptiness generated by the feeling of loss of identity. What used to bring you happiness or motivation no longer has the same impact, and since your personality was built around those experiences, you experience a kind of crumbling of your being, of your ego. You realize that your ego, the story you have been telling yourself, is not the essence of your being. All the ideas and concepts built around your life waver, leaving a sense of emptiness and detachment. What emerges from this stripping away of the ego is an internal space, a separation between your subjective self and your observing self. In the stage of unconsciousness, this observing self was obscured, but now it becomes more apparent. You begin to understand that you are not only the thoughts, emotions, and identity associated with the ego. This doesn't have to be a negative thing, but quite the opposite. In this void, left by your old, illusory self, the perfect space is created for your true self, your authentic being, to emerge. You may feel a lack of direction, but that's okay. You may go through a severe spiritual crisis, a turbulent moment characterized by a loss of meaning, uncertainty, hopelessness, and deep doubt about your place in the universe. It's not just a bad day or a rough patch. It's a profound emotional and spiritual upheaval which feels like a dismantling of the self. But this is only a temporary recalibration phase. Be patient and understand that to bring forth your authentic essence, it was necessary to bid farewell to your illusory self. Once you are ready and have given enough space, your new being will begin to emerge from the void magnificently. Third stage, the search. After going through the dark night of the soul, your spiritual awakening journey enters a phase known as the search. During this stage, you embark on the exploration of what is commonly known as truth, seeking to understand the essence of who you are, why you were born, the meaning of life, or the nature of God. This search involves a deep exploration of existential questions, where you often turn to various sources for guidance. You can immerse yourself in spiritual literature, seek the wisdom of spiritual teachers, or explore videos that address deep ideas, like this one, for example. It's not just an intellectual search, it's a sincere exploration driven by a genuine longing for clarity and purpose. One of the best practices during this period is to dedicate time to be with yourself, to listen and feel the voice of your higher self. Meditating, reading, and writing in a journal are beneficial activities. It can also be very positive to engage in simple activities like walking in nature, absorbing its healing powers, living in the present without forcing any issues, and allowing everything to arise naturally. Become an observer, a silent witness. During this process, you may also discover latent talents, gifts, and passions that may have been buried under your old ego and life circumstances. You begin to hear the call of your heart more clearly. As a result of all this knowledge and internal observation, the emergence of your authentic self is encouraged. Fourth stage, the authentic self. This stage is characterized by a profound change away from any pretense and the conscious recognition of your true nature. During the rebirth of your authentic self, you may reach a point where the facade you presented to the world begins to crumble. Pretending becomes increasingly difficult, and a sense of discomfort arises when trying to conform to social expectations that no longer resonate with your sense of evolution. This phase often reveals your genuine essence, similar to the self you were before social conditioning influenced you. It is a return to the authenticity often observed in childhood, a moment when social expectations had not yet shaped your identity. During this stage, you have a heightened awareness of what genuinely aligns with your inner self. Unbalanced relationships, occupations that do not resonate, and goals that no longer serve your authentic self begin to disappear. You feel a growing inability to suppress your true voice, and a lack of willingness to commit to plans that don't interest you or things you did to please others. In many cases, this stage involves significant life changes, jobs that may be abandoned, relationships that are re-evaluated, and life situations that are altered to align with your emerging authenticity. This period may be marked by a sense of agitation, as the old energy that no longer resonates is removed, making room for the arrival of new energy. In addition to external changes, this stage produces very significant internal changes. Old emotional wounds and psychological traumas may resurface to be recognized and released. Individual emotional roller coasters become a common experience as you go through this process of purification. Physically, your body may manifest symptoms of ascension as it adjusts to new energetic frequencies. These symptoms can vary from sharper intuition to lucid dreams, premonitions, synchronicities, and other experiences. You tune into a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Fifth stage. Welcome home. This stage is like finally feeling the ground beneath your feet after being shaken by the winds of your internal turbulence. This is the stage where your spiritual journey begins to feel less like a roller coaster and more like a scenic drive through rolling hills. The terrain may still be uneven, but you have a strong steering wheel, your intuition, and reliable wheels, your wisdom. It's a stabilization phase where the strong currents of your emotional and spiritual turmoil have receded, giving way to a peaceful flow that you can navigate comfortably. At this stage, people often find that their relationships begin to take on new textures and dimensions. You resonate at a frequency that may not match everyone from your past, and that's okay. You're not leaving them behind. You're moving forward, and those who are meant to be in your life will catch up. The connections you form now often have a depth and authenticity like never before. This is also the period when your purpose becomes much clearer. You have left behind society's expectations, family, and even your own past dreams that no longer serve you. You are free to see what truly matters to you. It's as if the universe clears the fog and says, "Here, this is the path. This is your purpose." Sometimes this purpose doesn't mean you have to do great things, become a Gandhi or an Einstein. Maybe your purpose is simply to enjoy and experience the world around you, surrounded by people who resonate with your same frequency. But whatever your purpose, one thing is certain. There's something different about you. Something has changed. That emptiness you felt at the beginning is gone. Not because it has been filled, but because you have understood that you don't need to do or have certain things or be a certain way to feel complete. You experience fulfillment here and now, regardless of your circumstances. You have understood that your true self goes beyond your old personality, identification with the ego, and your own body. Your essence is something much greater and more beautiful. You are a spirit incarnated on earth, experiencing material life. You are a fractal of the universal source, an eternal and limitless being in your essence. On the surface, you are living life, perhaps as you always have, but underneath, in the depths of your soul, everything is different. You see life with new eyes, hear it through ears tuned to a new frequency, and touch it with awakened hands. You are filled with joy, excitement, happiness, and a myriad of positive emotions that you may not have felt for years. It's like finding a treasure chest, filled with pure emotions, and being excited to open each one. Why does this stage feel so overwhelming and joyful? The answer is simple. Your heart has awakened. For many, this is the first time in their lives that they truly tune into their hearts. As your heart awakens, it becomes the seat of emotions such as compassion, connection, and compassionate love. At this stage, you begin to feel guided, as if there is an invisible hand shaping your path. This is also the time when synchronicities become your new normal. This stage also sharpens your intuitive abilities. Your heart is now more awake than ever. With sharper intuition, you begin to resonate with choices and directions that align with your soul's purpose. You also begin to manifest, truly manifest. You are now operating at a higher frequency. The things you attract into your life, people and opportunities, will be more aligned with your authentic self, and because you have been through difficult times, you will appreciate them more. Every little thing can feel like a blessing, a gift from the universe to you, the new you. Your spiritual journey may not follow the same stages I have mentioned. Each journey is individual and unique. Like almost everything in this existence, this path is not always linear and upward. Sometimes there are stagnations and even setbacks. which can make us question if we are on the right path. But don't worry, and remember, the important thing is not the destination, but enjoying the journey.